Hey guys, it's Jaaackjack and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Zoey. So if this is your first time seeing my sweet Zoey and you don't really know her full story, I'm going to leave a video linked in the cards for you guys. When I film with this camera, I always forget which way the cards are supposed to be. But in the top right hand corner of your screen, there will be a little eye that you can click. There will be a video kind of introducing you to Zoey and her story and everything like that. So Zoey is a 3-year-old lab pit mix and she is paralyzed from the waist down. So she just drags herself when she's around the house. But we do have a little wheelchair for her, so when we go outside and go on walks and stuff, she has her wheelchair. Huh? You do? Oh, my lipstick, Zoey. Come on now. And then also we have these Zoey the Lab Pit shirts. It's so cute. When Zoey smiles, that's literally what she looks like. Right now, she's not having it. She does not like being in front of the camera. So she's in a mood right now. But when she smiles, she looks just like that, and she's in her little wheelchair. I will have a link to these shirts in the description box for you guys if you want to pick one up. They are $25, and all the profit from these shirts go towards Zoey and helping her in anything that she needs. The last round of sales that we had, they helped with some blood work and some shots for Zoey. So thank you guys so much for the support and just all the love that you guys give to Zoey, because she totally deserves it. There she goes, watching TV. We have a soccer game on right now. She's watching soccer. Enough chit chat, let's get into the 10 tips that I have for you guys. Okay, tip number 1, this is gonna sound silly, but it's something that terrified me so much when we got Zoey back from the hospital. But my first tip is you are not going to break them. I was so afraid to touch Zoey and handle her. I would be so careful with her because I thought I was going to hurt her or break her or make things worse with her. And I remember someone telling me while I was at the doctor's that her broken back, that's the worst it's going to get. You're not going to hurt her by hugging her or holding her. You're not going to make things worse like that. So it's okay to still love on them. Don't think that they are just so fragile and cannot be touched. My second tip is to be very observant of them, especially in the beginning, because this is a whole new lifestyle for not only you but for your pet as well. And so as they're trying to adjust to the new way of living and a new way of moving around, it's important to watch and observe their needs and wants, or what makes them uncomfortable or what makes them upset, or things that irritate them. So I remember in the very beginning, I would just watch Zoey all day long, and she would always be by my side so I can keep an eye on her, so I can see what she's doing, how she's laying down, or if I need to help her get comfortable, whatever it may be. I feel like that might be an obvious one, but just, yes, be very observant of them. And then moving on to tip number 3, this kind of goes back to being observant, but have a notebook and take notes of every time they pee or poo or eat. Write all of that down, because you're gathering information right now, and once you get all that information for maybe a week or a couple weeks worth of information, you can look at it and create a schedule that works for both of you. So in the beginning, I didn't know how many times Zoey needed to go to the bathroom because, I guess I should have mentioned this earlier, because she is paralyzed from the waist down. She's what's the word, incontinent? What's that word? Basically it means that she can't go to the bathroom on her own. She needs help. So it's important for me to help her go to the bathroom, and in order for me to help her do that, I need to know when she goes. So that's why taking notes and just staying observant of every time she pees or poops or whatever, you can gather all that information to create a schedule that helps you. And the thing with Zoey, yes, she needs help going to the bathroom, but she can poop on her own, and she will leak. She won't pee all the way, but she will leak a little bit when her bladder is full. And so in the beginning, I would take notes of that, so then I would know, okay, around this time is usually when her bladder is full, so I should express her and help her in that area. So tip number 4, I think I already mentioned this, but with all that information you gather, you're able to create a doable schedule for both you and your pet. And in that schedule, I think it's also really important to put down a food schedule, or like create a food schedule, because since I'm helping Zoe go to the bathroom, it's really important that she eats at the exact same time, so that way her potty breaks stay the same because she's eating the same, like at the same time. So have like a potty schedule and have a food schedule, but make sure that it works for both of you. In the beginning, I was like having her go to the bathroom like 8 times a day, which was so unnecessary, but now we're down to 3 times a day. So morning, afternoon, and night she will have her potty breaks, and then she eats breakfast at 7 a.m. and dinner at 7 p.m. So tip number 5 is to learn to express the bladder properly and fully. And this is like super important, especially if your handicapped pet is incontinent. Is that the right word? Incontinent. If they can't go to the bathroom on their own, like Zoe, it's super important that you master expressing your pet, because if the bladder is not expressed fully, they can get UTI and like infections and things like that. Plus it's just like uncomfortable, you know, when your bladder's full, that can get a little uncomfortable. When I was at the doctor's, how they kind of explained it was, think of it like a water balloon in their belly. So you're feeling around in their belly for that like water balloon, and you want to make sure you squeeze that water balloon all the way out so that it's completely empty. Because again, if you're not expressing the bladder fully and there's still like urine in there, it can cause a UTI infection. And I do have a video that I did on my vlog channel a long time ago showing how I express Zoe, for those that are learning how to express their dogs. So I will leave that linked in the cards for you guys if you want to check that video out. I am thinking of making an updated one, so let me know if you guys would like to see that. Tip number 6, speaking of like potty breaks and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people recommend diapers, and this is just like from my own experience, diapers actually make things messier, and so we just choose not to even deal with diapers. In the beginning, I was really trying to keep her in diapers, and the thing is, dog diapers, they cover like, you know, the peck area where they go pee. They cover that area, but it doesn't cover the butthole area. So if she's gonna poop, it's still gonna get everywhere. Plus with the urine, I feel like it just kind of soaks into the diaper and it gets all over them, and then they can get like a rash or burn from the pee touching their skin. So I just rather not even deal with the diapers, to be honest. And I think if she has an accident in the house, it's easier to clean up like the floor. Well, especially because we have hardwood floor. If you have carpet, that's a different story. But for us, it's easier to just clean up the floor and just like wipe her down real quick, rather than like her sitting in her diaper, like her dirty diaper, and then having to like bring her into the tub, because she's a big dog. She's like 70 pounds. So like bringing her into the tub, washing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we just do no diapers. Tip number 7, this goes back to expressing the dog's bladder. And I'm like talking about this so much because it really is like the most important thing when you have a handicapped pet, is to know to fully express them. But tip number 7 is not to express them too frequently, because that actually makes your job harder in multiple different ways. Number 1, that's just a lot of work. Like I mentioned in the very beginning of our journey, I was expressing her like 8 times a day, which was so unnecessary. And so that's like 8 times me having to like kind of set everything up to try to help her go to the bathroom. So it's just like, that's a lot of work for you. But also, if you're trying to express them too frequently, you're not allowing the bladder to get all the way full, and it's going to be harder for you to feel their belly and find that water balloon that I was talking about earlier. When it's not full, like when her bladder is not full, it's actually really hard to feel around in her belly and find where that water balloon is. So if you kind of space it out a little bit longer and allow the bladder to get full, you can just easily find it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like, but once the bladder is full and you place the hand around their tummy, you can easily feel where that is, and then you can just squeeze it all out. Tip number 8 is to exercise. So just because your dog may not be running on all 4 legs doesn't mean that they don't want to get some exercise. So we go on frequent walks, and I mentioned that we have a little wheelchair for her, so she goes on her walks, which she loves. She loves going on walks. Do you like going for walks? You do? Well, you have fun, huh? You like your walk. Another great exercise to do is to swim with your dog. If you have a pool, or if you can find like a dog pool nearby. We have one that's about like 30 minutes away, but we actually have a pool in the backyard that we use, and we only go during summertime because it's kind of cold. The water's really cold right now. But swimming is a really great exercise. She doesn't really like the water, but it's like I mentioned, so great because she's using her upper body so much that she is just automatically prone to getting arthritis as she ages. So swimming is a great way to move her muscles, get them moving without the pressure of always walking. So that's why we highly recommend swimming as well. And even though she can't use her back legs, anytime or any chance that we get where we can do like range of motion, like just helping her with her legs, moving them a little bit, that's always a plus as well. So sometimes we'll practice standing in the grass, or when she's in her wheelchair, I'll kind of like tickle her feet and like try to help her walk with them. But basically any movement that we can get on her back legs is definitely a plus. Tip number 9 is you can't get mad at accidents. I feel like I should have mentioned this earlier when I was talking more about like the potty breaks and everything, but you can't get mad at accidents with a handicapped dog, because especially like in Zoe's case, she doesn't really know what's going on back here, so she doesn't know if she's having an accident or not. Sometimes she'll be sleeping and she will literally poop in her sleep and not even move. Like it won't even wake her up. She doesn't even know. And I know like it's disgusting, it's dirty, it's gross, but you just can't get mad at them. You have to have a lot of patience when caring for a handicapped pet. Tip number 9 should have been have patience rather than don't get mad at accidents, but same thing. You guys get what I mean. And tip number 10 is that no matter what kind of disability or special needs dog has, at the end of the day, they just want to be loved and treated like any other dog. And a lot of times they don't even know that they don't see themselves as different. So Zoe wants to run around like all the other dogs. Zoe wants to play like all the other dogs. Zoe still does everything that she did prior to her accident and her going missing and everything like that. She's still doing all the same things. But yes, those were my top 10 tips. I hope that this video was helpful. Again, I will probably do a video, an updated video on how to properly express a dog's bladder in a future video. What is it? You hear the dogs? What is it? You wanna go? You wanna go get him? Go. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. You wanna go? Go. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!